An ex-presso talk on entering high-stakes artifacts in your portfolio. And so how do you keep that portfolio from becoming a monster that you have to slay during student teaching when you're very busy doing other important things? The most important thing you need to do is to enter the high stakes as you go along, the high stakes artifacts, and enter a reflection showing where you are when you enter them. Keep those two things in mind. To watch the rest of this video, you'll probably want to have on hand a copy of the rubric that goes with the SOE outcomes. There should be a link on the secondary ed portfolio page to that, but just in case, you can find it by going to www.ed.uab.edu/outcomes. When you get there, click on Outcome 7 and you'll see the rubrics that go with that. Keep in mind a couple of things there. For almost every SOE outcome, there are going to be two rubrics on the page. The knowledge and skill rubric at the top focuses mostly on the knowledge and skills you gain before student teaching. The performance and skills rubric focuses, the one at the bottom, it focuses on those performances that typically you develop in student teaching. Keep in mind that those are different, and your faculty members may direct you which one to focus on in your portfolio entry. So with that in mind, what do you need to do to get high-stakes artifacts correctly entered in your portfolio? The first thing is you need to keep your portfolio up to date as you go along. So every semester, probably when the semester's over, between semesters, go ahead and enter the high-stakes artifacts in your portfolio. LiveText users, this is especially important for you because that's something you have to do on your own, and if you don't keep up with it as you go, you got that monster facing you in student teaching where you have to put them all in. So that's the first thing. The second thing is simple, but it's profound. Enter a reflection that shows where you are and how you've grown toward mastery of the SOE outcomes when you enter the artifact into your portfolio. So what you need to do there is to enter about a paragraph or two of reflection that's associated with the link to your high-stakes artifact. And in that reflection, a DRO, if you're familiar with those, is a great format. Describe briefly the high-stakes artifact, reflect on how it shows your growth, and orient your readers to which part of the artifact to look at. Remember, portfolio readers are going to have so much information, they can't look at everything there. So point them to the part of the artifact that shows the specific growth you're reflecting on. Now, back to the R part, the reflect on your growth. That's where it's really key. That's the part that's going to show your growth, and what you need the most. It's going to show your growth the most, and what you need to do is to actually enter the level of the SOE outcome that you've attained with that artifact. Here's what I mean, and if you would, look at the rubric for SOE Outcome 7. Look at the knowledge and understanding part of the rubric at the top. Let's say you're looking at your format unit from EHS 401 or EHS 600. When you look at that knowledge and understanding rubric, look at level 2 and look at level 3. Level 2 talks about demonstrating a partial understanding. So if you felt like your unit showed that you had some understanding but you didn't feel like it was complete yet, then you would enter in the reflection that you would specifically say, I have achieved level 2 on the knowledge and understanding rubric. If you felt like in looking at the rubric that you had actually attained level 3 of the knowledge and understanding rubric, that you were demonstrating an understanding of the role of subject matter knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, student interest and achievement, curriculum goals, standards, and community factors when planning instruction. If you really thought that your high-stakes artifact showed that you did all that, then you would put in your reflection that you've attained level 3. So that's it. That's the key. You're entering your high-stakes artifacts as you go, and when you enter the reflection, you're specifically saying, I've achieved level 2. or I've achieved level 3, or wherever you are, but you're saying the level and you're pointing and you're saying the level based on the rubric for the specific SOE outcome. One last thing, and then I'm done. If you have an artifact that supports multiple outcomes, like the unit from 401-600, it supports outcomes 1, 4, and 7, I believe, off the top of my head. Make sure that each reflection, make sure you enter it for each of the outcomes. So you'd enter that one 3 times, and then you would reflect differently. There's the key. Reflect differently for each outcome. The reason why is outcome 7 is about instructional planning skills and technology. And then, oh, I just remembered I gave the wrong outcomes. For the format unit, it's outcomes 2 and 3. Well, if you look at outcomes 2 and 3, they aren't about planning. So your reflection has to be different, focused on the rubric for outcome 2 and the rubric for outcome 3, even though you have the same artifact entered. Hope all that makes sense. If you got questions, make sure to ask your faculty advisor.